Hello, so today I'm going to show you how you can get started with your own 3D printed project using Word, Excel, Access, and PowerPoint. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to be using a fictional company called Kayak Inc. It's a company who manufactures 3D printed kayaks. So first, forward, as you see here, I did a business memo. So a business memo is used internally in a business in order to communicate some information about maybe data or just to tell someone to do a certain thing. So here, for my fictional company at Kayak Inc., I'm telling the production department on February 14, 2020 to increase the production by 200%, since I know that there's going to be the COVID-19 that will hit soon, and I know that people in the summer will do outdoor activities, since indoor activities will all be closed. So I'm just taking some precautions by doing so. So as you see here, I made an Excel table. So we can see the production now and the projected production. It is a great tool if you want to filter data, if you want to just copy paste some certain data. It is better than a Word table, of course, to treat some information. And then you can see a chart right below it. However, even if you have an Excel table, you cannot link this Excel table to your chart. You must copy paste your table to the table of the chart. It is a negative point for Word. However, it's still a great tool to use, and I think it may be very helpful for you to start your 3D printed project. So now for Excel, what I did is I used the VBA coding and the comment buttons in order to create a restricted worksheet where the client can input his own information and can choose his own kayaks and makes a final bill for the clients and for you. So I'll show you. First, the client receives this worksheet and sees the first step, step 1, fill kayak order form. So here, the client can click the comment button to insert his own information. So I'll do so. You will see at the end of the time lapse the next step. So now I've completed the order form. So we'll go to step 2, and all of this information is recorded into an hidden worksheet. So that's what the comment button is used for. It imports all of the data into this hidden worksheet that you will see at the end for one client. So you'll have all of the information for the order and the information of the client into one single worksheet. So here you can reset the orders by clicking on this button, and then the client can choose his kayak type. So if you want a single kayak, the color you want it to be, and if you want a safety vest or not. You could do the same thing if you have a lot of options for your 3D printed object. So when the client is done, he only has to click on the comment button on the right. So right here, and his final step is to view his final bill. So right here, he has his first name, last name, all of his information is written in the client info tab. Same thing for the vendor info. It is myself. This information doesn't change at all. For the product number, to keep track of inventory, I use product numbers because it is a lot more. It is much simpler to keep track of inventory when it is numbers and not letters. So this is why I linked product numbers to some of my options that I was offering. So here's the unit price. The taxes are calculated automatically, and this gives me a final number. So the client only has to click on the final comment button, which opens his own Outlook on his own computer, and my personal email address is already inserted into the field to send it to. You'll show here. Right now it's not opening. I think there's a problem. Oh, there it is. So it just opened, and as you can see, my own personal email address is already here. So then I'll show you the hidden worksheet. So right here you can see all of the client's info, his first name, last name, his home address, and you can see here what he wants, what he ordered. So this data, you can organize it using pivot table and pivot charts. However, I think it is I think using Access is much more useful than using Excel for this kind of data. So I'll see you in Access. So now let's talk about Access. So for Access, as you can see, I've opened my Access and it directly landed me on my main menu. I ask Access to land me right there because if I want to do a quick analysis of something, or I just want to have quick data about something, I can go through this navigation form that I've created, and it is very user-friendly and very much more quick to go through these navigation form instead of going through my forms in my left-hand side. So I know that right now I have like 2 examples, but for a bigger company, or if you get bigger with your 3D printed project, maybe you will need to analyze more data, and you will need to create more queries, more forms, more reports. So a navigation form can really help you with managing all of your data. Now for the queries can be used to filter data, to create some other tables, to use in Excel documents, to create transpose tables. Right here, I did a query with the SQL language, the structured query language, and I find it personally that the SQL language is, I think, one of the most important thing you can learn in business, since it is an international language in platforms like Access. So if you ever encounter another platform than Access, or you need to use another platform than Access, for whatever reason, if you know the SQL language, you will be able to do anything you want with this application. So right here, I ask Access to select the first name, the last name, and the city from the client info table. I will show you right here, where the client info and the city equals the word Quebec. So I'll show you right here. So Access goes through all of the data. I know there's not a lot, but if there were a lot, it will go through all of the data. It will select from this table the field city, and where it is written Quebec, it will select the first name, the last name, and the city of the person who lives in Quebec, and it will input it into one query. So it is a simple way of analyzing data. If you want to maybe target someone in marketing, if you want to go get a single person for a certain order, you can go through. Maybe if you have the phone number of someone, you can just input it into one SQL query, and then it shows you the person you need. Really, it is a great tool to use. It is much better than Excel when it comes to analyzing enormous amounts of data, since it is conceived for this exactly. So this is how you can use Access for your 3D printed project. And now let's go to PowerPoint. So So for PowerPoint, what I will show you today is how to do a photo album. So first you come into the Insert tab, go on Photo Album, and this can help you with your 3D printed project since you can insert photos into slides very quickly. So then you just go into the file and disk. You go into your album, the album with all the photos you want in your presentation, and just select them, and they are all inserted into your into their own slides. So you don't have to organize all of them one by one. It is a great tool to use if you want to save time, and if you want to do a simple presentation without any kind of text box or anything like that. It is very light for a presentation, so it is a great way to present your company or your product. So here it is. Like say here, you just want to say that doing kayak is very fun. You want to talk about the history of kayaking. Here, the kayaking with the family. You can do kayak with the family. If you just want to promote your product, it is a great tool to use. I think that's it for PowerPoint. There's not a lot to say about it. We covered pretty much all of the other sections in our other courses. So that's it for PowerPoint.